For today's part review, today we'll be looking at Sec 3 NA 2021 Paper 1. Okay, we'll start from question number 16. Inside here, question 16, we have a cylinder and a cone. Before we begin, let's revise all the different formulas for cylinder and a cone. Right, for a cylinder itself, a cylinder is actually a prism with a circular base over here. So you can see this is the circular base with the radius. Okay, and we have a couple of different formulas. Volume of cylinder is equals to, take the base area, which is the shape of a circle, pi r square times its length, or in this case is its height, which is h. Right? But if I want to find the curved surface of cylinder, right? The curved surface of cylinder is what we do. We take the perimeter of its circle. In this case, what is this perimeter of circle? This is actually the circumference, right? This is actually the circumference over here. So it's 2 pi r, the circumference over here. Okay, times its height, h, 2 pi r h. The curved surface area of the cylinder. All right, then next we are going to find volume for cone. Volume for cone formulas is given in the formula sheet. Volume of cone, you need a few different things. You need to be able to find the height. Okay, for cone itself, you need to find a couple of different information. You need a height over here, h. Right, so volume of cone, anything that's sharp, right, will have 1/3, the fraction 1/3. Then pi r square is a circular base mark times the height. So 1/3 pi r square h. That's the volume of the cone. Okay, but if I want the curved surface area of cone, this one is given by pi r l. What is this L? This L is the slanted height over here, root r square plus h square, the hypotenuse, square root of r square plus h square. Okay, but now let's see, it looks like we don't have much numbers or whichever, but they give us certain information, so let's use it. Right, in the diagram below shows a container formed by joining a cylinder to a cone where the r is the base radius over r. Okay, the height of the cone is 3/4 the height of the cylinder. What does it mean? Height of the cone. Oh, so must find this height over here lah. Okay, so let me find this height first. Height of the cone is 3/4 the height of the cylinder, which is 28. 3/4 of 28 is 21. Okay, cm. Then the question gives you that the total volume of the container is so many pi. So we leave it in terms of pi, right? So they want to find the total volume and then the R. Okay, so total, they give us the total volume. Total volume, they say is equals to 2835 pi. How do we find the total volume of this whole shape? The total volume of this whole shape will be volume of cylinder, which is pi r square h, a different h. This h over here is the height of the cylinder, 28, plus 1/3 pi r square times the h, but this h is now this one over here, 21, and is given to be equals to 2835 pi. Let's simplify the numbers here. So here I got 28 pi r square, 1/3 times 21, so 7 pi r square is 2835 pi. 28 plus 7 pi r square, you notice they're all so many units, all the same units, right? So let's find out. So I have 35 pi r square equals to 2835 pi. Question, what can we cancel away? Pi and pi is the same. I can also get rid of 35 to get r squared. So I'm going to divide by 35. 2835 divided by 35, that gives me 81. Then how to get rid of r squared? Square root, not divide by 2, not divide by square root of 81. Square root of 81, by right, square root should have two different answers, plus or minus 9. But since r is a radius, so I'll just write r to be 9 cm, the positive one. Have you gotten the concepts? All right, for this kind of question during examination, always try to write out the formula first, because this line itself has method mark. Even if you're not able to simplify, but you write down the formula and plug in the correct similar numbers, you get the method mark itself. All right, so it's quite important. Okay, get 1 mark and answer 1 mark. Next question. Okay, this question looks a little bit complicated, but let's do it one at a time. The diagram shows a square, so A, B, C, D, all four sides are the same. Inscribe, what do you mean by inscribe? Oh, inscribe, in this case, it means this is fit totally just inside nicely. This diagonal here of your square, the hypotenuse, is going to be your diameter. Okay, that's going to be a diameter. And then A, B, C, D are points on a circle, and diameter of a circle is 10 cm. So, okay. So in this case, this is 10 cm. So here 5, here 5, here 5. Okay, there are so many 5. And it's a square, right? So 90 degree, right? So this is 5 cm. Find the area of the shaded region. Before I find the area of the region, let me find the length of the square first. Length of one side of the square. So in this case, length of a side of square, okay, is equals to this one over here. We use the Pythagoras theorem. Hypotenuse 5 square plus 5 square. Right? So 5 square plus 5 square. Working in 5 civic, 7.0710706, so 1 1. 1 0, yeah, 1 1. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 5 significant figure. So that's the length of one side of the square. They want you to find the area of the shaded region. First, I need to find the area of the circle. So area of circle. Let me see how many marks. 3 marks. So maybe even if I don't know how to find the side of the square, I just find area of circle also can get 1 mark, right? Maybe, I do not know. Pi r square. So the radius is pi times 5 square. That gives me 78.5398. Then find area of square. I'll take the 7.0711 times 7.0711 square itself. I get approximately 50. Yeah, it should be 50 also. Square root of 25 plus 25 is 50. Then now area of shaded region, I minus it away. So 50, not 50, 78.5398 minus 50. So give you 28.5398. Round it off to 28.5 cm squared. Specific final answer. Have you gotten the concept? Next question. This one I assume you might know how to do. Cannot assume that you know how to do. Alright, never mind, just go through. A piece of aluminum is heated to 357 degrees Celsius and then left to cool. The temperature of the metal falls at a rate of 18 degrees Celsius per minute for the first 3 minutes, and then a rate of 7 degrees Celsius minute for the next 12 minutes. Wow. After 8 minutes, okay, let me see. First minute, So it'll be 357 degrees Celsius. Drop by, first 3 minutes, drop by 18. 357 minus 18, 339. Drop by 18. 3 to 1 degrees Celsius. First minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. First 3 minutes, drop one more time. Minus 18 again. 303 degrees Celsius. Then you drop at a rate of 7 degrees Celsius for the next 12 minutes. They say after 8, right? So 8 minus 3 minutes, that will be 5 minutes. So the temperature will be 303 degrees Celsius minus 7 times 5. 268 degrees Celsius. Find the time taken for the temperature to decrease all the way to 240. Okay, let me see. Definitely 240 will be after 3 minutes already, right? So after 3 minutes already, the temperature is 303. Let's see, from 303 to 240, what is this change? I have 63 degrees Celsius change. 63 degrees Celsius is because it's 7 degrees Celsius per minute, right? So number of minutes for this 7 degrees Celsius change, that would be 63 divided by 7 to give you 9 minutes. But not forgetting our first 3 minutes to reach 303. So the total time taken will be 9 plus 3 minutes, 12 minutes. Have you gotten the answer? Let's go to the next question. Next one over here. Oh, this is the algebraic question, algebra. So for this part over here, solve this whole equation. Solving. So first, let's simplify, explain and simplify whatever that we have here. 5p plus 10. This one is negative, negative sign. Minus 3p minus 3 equals to 1 over 2p. Let's simplify this. This whole thing is actually over 1. Let's simplify this. This one will be 2p plus 7. 1 over 2p. Then what do? We cross multiply. Okay, equal sign in the middle stays there. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2p times 2p plus 7. I get this is our quadratic equation. 4p squared plus 14p equals to 1. But remember, if I want to solve a quadratic equation, I need to make it equals to 0. So I'm going to shift this over. 4p squared plus 14p minus 1. Many a time, some of you will just stop here, right? Then you don't know what you need to do. Hey, hello, please. Make sure it's equals to 0. Make sure it's equal to 0. Then now there are many different ways to find the answer over here, but for me, I shall not waste time to try to guess. I shall use the quadratic formula directly. Do you still remember what's the quadratic formula? X equals to negative b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac over 2a. However, now in this case here, this variable is letter p. So we cannot use x equals to. So it will be p equals to. Let's see. A equals to number 4. B equals to number 14. C equals to number negative 1. Okay. Then we'll plug it in. Please put bracket. Don't just assume it's negative or something or whichever. Please put brackets. Right. Sometimes you make careless mistake because of it. And you must show the working. You must show this working. 14 is negative 1. Oops, it looks like 1 plus over 2. Alright, then you press your calculator mode 33 522. Okay, A is 4, B is 14, C is -1. So for me, I get my answer, P equals to 0.0700, or what more than how many decimal place? 3.5700. So round it off. When they never tell you the accuracy of the answer, 3 sig fig. So 0.0700. Really 00, because it's 3 sig fig. Then the other one, -3.57. Okay, have you gotten the answer? So some of you will forget at this stage over here. So remember that you have to shift it over, change it equals to 0. All right, let's move on to the next equation. Next question. Completing square. This one, how can you wrong? Cannot make mistake, no, cannot wrong. You do the method, whichever method that you feel okay, that you can understand. But remember, okay, to know how to do this kind of question. Now, I have a x squared. X squared, the area is formed by taking x times x. Now, I have -2x strip. Negative x. How I'm going to rearrange this such that this thing will be equal to a square. Can be similar to a square. So in this case, there are 2 units, -2x. So I'm going to do to the -2. I'm going to divide it by 2. So I'm going to shift this here, become -x. I split it up into 2 equal portions because a square, a left-hand side and right side, the 2 sides are equal, right? So no, the 2 lengths are equal, right? So I have to have this and form it into something square. And from here, I can see this is -1, right? So -1 times x, -1 times x to give you -x. Right, the area. So x squared become x. Minus is still minus. 2x, I drop away the x, divide it by 2. 2 divided by 2, 1. Now, the normal original square over here, this is the number -1 whole thing square. But in my original expression, there's no -1 whole thing square. So what do I need to do? I need to subtract away. No matter what is the sign inside the bracket, this sign is always minus. Even if this one is plus, this is still minus. Even if this one is minus, this is still minus. So I'm always subtracting away which one? Subtracting away 1, the number over here, right? 1 square. So I subtract 1 square. Then I have my original value, -3, plug it down. So -3. Okay, so this one become x minus 1 square, -1 minus 3. 1 square is 1, so x minus 1 square minus 4. Okay, have you gotten the answer? So 2 marks are quite important. Please know how to do. Then the question over here, hence, that means I must use this answer, okay? Let's check 2x, x squared, 2x minus 2x minus 3, they're all the same. So in this case, this part over here is being replaced by x minus 1 squared minus 4 equals to 0. Then what do we do? Forgotten already? We shift the -4 over lah. Okay, so x minus 1 square, shift -4 over become +4. How do we get rid of the square? We take square root. When we take square root, must have how many solutions? 2 solutions, right? So x minus 1 equals to plus or minus square root 4. Plus or minus square root 4. And that gives me, wait, let me write down my answer. So x minus 1 equals to positive square root 4 will be 2. Negative square root 4 will be -2. Then I want to get x only, don't want a -1. I put 2 plus 1 or -2 plus 1. So my first answer is 3 or -1. Have you gotten the concept? Next question, part B. sketch this question, which is the whole of the completed square form, right? To sketch this question, if you cannot remember what is the content, whichever, this is actually being taught in Sec 2. I have forgotten everything. I have a video on just sketching of the graph over here, so I can send you further revision, right? But in the meantime, let's listen to what I have to say. So for normal sketching of quadratic graph, we always know that quadratic graph got three important things. I, L, M. Okay, what is the I? The intercepts. What's the intercept? The x-intercept. So take a look at our answer. X-intercept is when the whole thing is equals, when y is equal to 0, right? When you notice y equals 0, what are the x solution? I already have my x-intercept answers, 3 or -1. So first, let us look at our intercepts. We already know x equals to 3 or -1. But of course, I haven't found my y-intercept, right? Doesn't matter. Let me indicate first. 3. Let me approximate, draw something logical. 1, 2, 3. X equals to 3. Sketch only, sketch. Then x equals to -1. Here. Okay, so I must make sure my curve must pass through these 2 points, the one that I'm going to sketch. Next thing, L. L for the word line of symmetry. Line of symmetry must begin with the x equals to, it's in between the two x values over here, right? So you take 3 plus -1 divide by 2, 4, 3 minus 1, 2, 2 minus 1. So x equals to 1. So x equals to 1, you draw the line of symmetry, x equals to 1 over here. Then last but not least, we read our turning point, our maximum or minimum. Look at the case here. This one is positive, so it's a smiley face. Smiley face, this one will be a minimum point. Okay, minimum point. And we have x minus 1, whole thing square, -4. Right? This is our original expression. So what is the smallest value? Where will it be? This happens when it's at the line of symmetry where x is equals to 1. Okay, where x equals to 1. So it's actually this number over here, when the whole bracket x minus 1 equals 0. If not, you can find from the equation of line of symmetry here. Then when x equals to 1, what happens? I plug into my equation. X equals to 1. Find the value for y. You'll notice that the value of y is actually -4. If not, you can do y equals to 1 square minus 2 times 1 minus 3 and calculate the number. So they say y is -4, -1, -2, -3, -4. So the turning point will be down here. So then with this, I sketch my graph. Oops, it doesn't look very pretty. Oops. Okay, something like that. Okay, so then I have my curve over here. All right. Okay, so this one is my curve over here, but please make sure you try to draw a smooth curve, not a very sharp curve. All right. Okay, with that, I shall give me a minute, and let me see my next few questions. All right, we're going on to our last 2 questions for today. I have one more question on construction, but I can't technically draw construction with you over my video in this case. So I just go through the last 2 questions. One is on polygon, the other one is on coordinate geometry. Now, you notice polygon is commonly tested as one of the main questions. So that's why I've given out a polygon worksheet for you all to revise. This is a Sec 1 topic, so you must know how to do as well. Right? So let's begin for polygons or whichever. First thing, we need to know some formulas. The sum of interior angles is given by n minus 2 times 180. The sum of a regular polygon, one interior angle, That will give you n minus 2 times 180. You divide by the number of sides. So what is an octagon? Octopus. So n number of sides is equals to 8. And they tell you that CD is parallel to BE. So we have quite a couple of things. Corresponding angles, interior angles, alternate angles, all can be used. All right. So they say stating your reasons clearly. So please state your reasons clearly. Find angle BCD. Oh, well, BCD is an interior regular polygon. So this one don't really have much of a reason, just substitute n equals to 8. Octagon, right? Octagon. So divide by 8. That gives me 135 degrees. So 135 degrees. Next, find angle DBE. To find angle DBE, we notice that this is actually an alternate angles on parallel lines with this angle over here. So it's equivalent to finding angle CDB. And how do we do that? This is a regular polygon. What do you mean by a regular polygon? A regular polygon has all the angles, all the interior angles are the same, and all the length of the sides are equal. So in general, this is actually an isosceles triangle, the base angles of our isosceles triangle. So angle DBE equals to angle BDC. This reason is alternate angles on parallel lines. And then I find this one, angle 180 minus 135 divided by 2. This reason is base angles of isosceles triangles. And I get the answer 22.5 degrees. Have you gotten the answer? Okay, next question. Find is the special name given to a quadrilateral BCDE. BCDE. Oh, one length short, they are parallel, one line long, one line shorter. So it's a trapezium. Do you know how to spell it? Okay. Without further ado, let's go on to our last question. Okay, one on construction. I think you really need to look at our notes on construction. Okay, when we are talking about perpendicular bisector, please revise on how to draw. Angle bisector, please revise on how to draw. But then we need to take a look. This one equidistant from points P and R. What do you mean by equidistance from P and R? That means I'm walking in between P and R. I'm walking in between P and R. P and R is a line. I'm walking in between them. So technically speaking, this statement tells me this is the perpendicular bisector of P and R. Next one, I'm walking equidistance between PQ and QR. PQ, QR, this is the common point. So maybe let's say I have PQ and then maybe a QR. I have to walk in between these two lines. So actually I'm looking at the angle bisector. So you notice I have drawn a perpendicular bisector, angle bisector. And this point S satisfy both this. So you are looking at angle bisector and perpendicular bisector, the points of intersection. So you can draw, spend some time to draw, and then mark the point of intersection with a cross, and then label it letter S. Is that okay? All right, last question. Last question, coordinates geometry. Okay, I think a lot of you forgot a couple of things or whichever that we need to know. First one, equation for straight line is y equals to mx plus c. Anyone got that? Then what does n means? N means my gradient. So how do you find the gradient? Do you still remember? The gradient of a line or whichever is given by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, and next we want to find this one. This C actually is a y-intercept. Okay, when you cut the y-axis, what happens? The x is equals to 0. You start x equals 0. If you cut the x-axis, then what happened? The y is equals to 0, correct? And some other formulas other than this. What about the distance? Okay, the length between 2 points is something like a Pythagoras theorem. Something square plus something square. Okay, but the one inside is minus x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. It doesn't matter. You can also put y2 minus y1, then x2 minus x1, because eventually we still want to add them, square them, and then add them together. Okay, so we got quite a different number of formulas here that we might need to use. Let's take a look at our question. Find the length of exact. So you have to find the length of exact already, right? So look at the length of exact square root. Something square plus something square. Exact. Oh, x is here. x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1, if you write it this way also can. -3 minus 6, x2 minus x1, 0 minus 6, then you square them, put them together. Okay, so this is my answer, what I managed to calculate. Right, have you gotten the answer? Next one, find the equation of yz. Notice that yz, okay, the equation, there are 3 different types of equation. Anyone can remember? If it's a slanted line, it's of the form y equals to mx plus c. If it's of a horizontal line, it's cut the y-axis, it will be y equals to a number only. If it's a vertical straight line, then this one have no y equals to mx plus c, so that we just, it cut the x-axis, so it'll be just x equals to a number only. Okay, recall that. So of course, there are a few different steps that we definitely must do. To find the equation of line y is 12, 6. Wait, let me write down. Z is 0, -3. Firstly, find the equation of y equals to mx plus c, right? Find the gradient. y2 minus y1, 6 minus -3. Then x2 minus x1, 12 minus 0. I got a number 3/4. Try to always leave your equation for gradient in fraction form. So y equals to 3/4. Originally is y equals to what? mx plus c, right? mx plus c, right? But now our m, we found it to be 3/4. But how do we find the c? We need to substitute a point. So in this case, I'll make my life easier. I'll just substitute 0, -3. 0 times y is -3. 0 times x, 0 times anything is still 0 plus c. So very obvious, y-intercept c is equals to -3. But is this the answer for the equation? No, right? You must piece it up together, put like jigsaw puzzle like that inside. So y equals to 3x, 3 over 4x minus 3. 3 over 4x minus 3. That whole thing is the equation. Next, Find the area of triangle XYZ. Area of triangle XYZ. Area of triangle half times base times perpendicular height. Okay, what is the base? From here, this is the x value is 6. From here, the x value is 12. So from here to here, 6 minus 12, 6 units. Area of the triangle, from here, my y value is 6. Both of them are all 6, right? By this y value is negative 3. From here, 6 units plus another 3 units, 9 units. So area of triangle, half times 6 times 9. Have you gotten the answer? Last but not least, state the coordinates of W such that XZWY is a parallelogram. Okay, but first, X goes to Z. I must go in a proper clockwise or anti-clockwise manner. Cannot zigzag, okay? X go to Z, then go to W, then go to Y. X, Z, then W, then Y. Let's begin. I shall erase away all this so that would it be easy to find and read? Okay, I don't know. X, W, oh, forgotten. What does this say again? X, Z, W, Y. X, Z, W, Y. Let me draw this. X. Oh, there's no X. But Z. Oh, X is here. X, Z. X go to Z. Then W, then Y. So it have to go in this way. W, then Y, then back to X. So that's a parallelogram, right? If that's the case, the number of units here and the number of units there must be same. So if this is 6 units, means this one also must move 6 units. So my X number here from 0 become W becomes 6 unit, negative 3. Still at the same level, never go up or down, so still same level, so it's still negative 3, but the X coordinate change from 0 to negative 3. So W will be the 0.6, negative 3. Have you gotten your answer? Okay, with that, I end off this part of this part of our paper for paper 1, and I'll see you next lesson for paper 2. Bye.